Hi, third graders. Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 5. Today we will be solving word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour by adding and subtracting on a number line. We've been drawing our number line the last few days with our centimeter side of our ruler from 0 to 12, making marks at each centimeter. Will you please do that right now? Label your 5s and make your little tick marks at your 1s. Go ahead and pause this video, and when you're done drawing your line, go ahead and press play again. Before we get started, check your number line. Make sure that you've darkened in your 5s so that you can tell the difference between your 5s and your 1s so that it's easier to count. And then on your paper, you're going to draw a T-chart just like I did. Can you guess why it's called a T-chart? Yeah, because it looks like the letter T. On one side, you're going to write the word addition. On the other side, you're going to write the word subtraction. We're going to keep track of the 3 problems that we're doing on each side by numbering them. And go ahead and put a little arrow to remind you that addition is counting forward and subtraction is counting backwards. Starting with today's first problem, Carlos comes in to the classroom at 9:08 a.m. in the morning. He has to finish his morning work by 9:30 a.m. How many minutes does Carlos have? So remember, when you're doing a word problem, you always want to map out all the information that you have first. So what I do know is that Carlos comes in at 9:08. If I want to label 9:08, I want to put my hour on my number line first. So we're going to start at 9 a.m. and end at 10 a.m. Then I want to plot my 08 or 8 minutes. So I know it comes 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to draw my line and put 9:08 a.m. The reason I draw the line is because all my numbers will start to get squished together. So by drawing that line, it gives me a little bit more room to write above. He finishes his work by 9:30. Where would that go on the number line? That one's pretty simple. Fortunately, for us, it's right at the 30. We don't even really have to think about it. So I'll draw my point there to show when he has to be done. And I'll draw my line with my arrow. And actually, I'm going to make this one into an arrow too, just so I know what it's pointing at. That's a nice clear way to show where I'm going. Okay, so how many minutes does he have? How do I solve this problem? There's 2 different ways that you can go about this. Let's talk about the first one with addition. The first way that you can solve it is noticing that you start at the smaller time, or the beginning time, and that would be 9:08, and you can count up to get to 30. So your problem right now is 8 minutes, and we'll put 8 min period plus, and our unknown is how many minutes we're going to add to 9:08 to get to 9:30. So 8 minutes plus mystery minutes, or unknown minutes, equals 30 minutes. So 8 plus what equals 30? There's a few strategies that I can use. I personally love the strategy of seeing how many 5s I have first and then counting on my 1s last. So I notice that I have 2 1s, 1, 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 5s. So if I'm counting up my 5s first, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I count up my 1s, 21, 22, I see that Carlos had 22 minutes to finish his morning work. Let's see if that would work with subtraction if we counted backwards. This time we would start at 9:30 at the 30 minutes. And we're going to subtract or count backwards a mystery number. And that's going to land us at 8 minutes. Or 9 minutes after 8. Or I'm sorry, 8 minutes after 9. So 30 take away something equals 8. From our previous problem, we know that the answer is 22. Your answer should be the same if you're adding or subtracting because it's the same amount of space in between the two numbers. But let's go ahead and check that just to make sure. So you could count by ones and go backwards and go 930, 929, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. You could count backwards like that. If you're good at counting backwards by fives, you could go 930, 925, 920, 915, 910. So we've gone back 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. Again, our answer is still 22 minutes. On our next problem, we're pretending that lunch starts at 12:05 p.m. and ends at 12:40 p.m. The question is, how long is lunch? So our first step is we're going to write number 2 underneath addition and subtraction, and we're going to solve this problem first using addition. Then we're going to solve the same problem using subtraction and counting backwards. What's the first thing that you want to do when you have a word problem? Good. You want to map out all the information that you already know. So draw a picture, make a model, something like that. If we were doing multiplication or division, you'd probably do a tape diagram to figure out your known and your unknown. Today, we're going to be using our number line. So I know that lunch starts at 12:05 p.m. and it ends at 12:40. Please put those 2 points on your number line right now. So 12:05 p.m. is where lunch starts. First, I need to write my hour so that I know where my minutes are falling in between. So my hour starts at 12 p.m. and it ends at 1 p.m. because that's an hour later. In between 12 and 1, lunch starts at 12:05. So I'm going to put a dot there. I'm going to draw my arrow. I'm even going to draw it on top of what I already wrote. And I'm going to put lunch starts at 12:05 p.m. I can even write the word start if that helps me remember why I labeled that on my number line. My next time is 12:40. I'm going to draw my dot, draw my arrow. And that one's pretty easy. I didn't really even have to think about that one. I just kind of did it automatically. So 12:45 is when it ends. Now that I have my points plotted, what is the distance or the time difference between 12:05 and 12:40? How could you use addition to solve this? What equation would you write? Write your equation right here, right now. Pause if you need to. You should have noticed that we started at 12:05, so we're at 5 minutes. And then we don't know how many minutes we're going to add. So 5 plus something equals 40 minutes. Now I get to use my timeline to help me figure this out. If I start at 5, I notice something really cool. I only have to count by 5s. I don't have any 1s to count by. Go ahead and count by 5s right now to find your answer. Okay, I will show you the answer. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I had to jump 35 minutes to get to 40 minutes. So 5 minutes plus 35 minutes equals 40 minutes. So 35 minutes is how long lunch is. We have to do this problem again, but this time with subtraction. How would I write this as a subtraction problem? So if I think back to my problem before, I had to start at the end time this time and then make my way back to the start time. Go ahead and write your equation now. You should have written that if we're subtracting, we're starting from our end time. So 12:40, so we started at 40 minutes, and now we're taking away a mystery number of minutes, which equals 5 minutes where we end up at the end. So again, we can count backwards. So if I jump 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 minutes. My answer is still the same. It's like a fact family, isn't it? Or it's exactly a fact family. So I have all the same numbers, 5, 35, and 40. They're just in a different order depending on what operation you choose. On our last problem, Joy spends 24 minutes finding everything she needs at the store. It takes her 7 minutes to pay. How long is she in the store? You'll notice that on this problem, there's no time like 10:24 or 11:07. This time we're just trying to add minutes together. So go ahead and map out the information that you know. The first part of the information that we know is 24 minutes. So go ahead and plot that on your number line. So the next part that we know is that she added 7 minutes to that. So on our addition side, she was in the store for 24 minutes. And we know that she was in the store for 24 minutes and that she stayed in there for 7 more minutes. So how many total minutes was she in there for? Crazy pencil. Okay. So we're at 24 and now we're going to add 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That lands us at 31 minutes. Now, our learning goal today was to do addition and subtraction. It's hard to do subtraction with these problems. If I was going to write this as a subtraction problem, it would be mystery number of minutes minus 7 minutes would get us to our beginning 24 minutes. It's hard to do that, so I would actually use addition to help me solve my subtraction. So I would know that, excuse me, she had 24 minutes in the store, and 7 minutes paying, and then that would get me to my subtracting number, and I can check that by 31 take away 7 equals 24. So again, we have our fact families to help us figure those out. Now it's time for the final problem. Go ahead and write F on your T-chart on your list. You can also flip your paper over, but make sure to put addition on one side and subtraction on the other. Your final problem is to solve our actual real life word problem, which is that our lunch starts at 11:10 a.m. and ends at 11:45 a.m. How long is our lunch at school? I'd like you to figure out how long is our lunch using your number line. Then please write an addition equation and a subtraction equation to help you solve that problem. Good luck, good night, hasta mañana, see you guys tomorrow. Bye, third graders. Good work today.